steel, wood, and adrenaline. When expertise is missing, these machines turn into weapons. Experience the heart-stopping moments of forestry operations gone wrong. Brace for impact. You are watching Machine Universe. Anyone who's worked on a tree crew knows how dangerous it really is.
Oh, Lord. Hey, Bert, Wilbert, come here.
I hope he doesn't run into that again. This tree looks like it was hit by lightning and burned from the top down. A very dangerous tree, both to fell and to be left standing. A true professional to safely fell this kind of tree. People have no idea what it takes to get lumber out of the woods. These drivers are battling mud, gravity, and fatigue every single day. Maximum respect for the skill it takes to keep that rig moving. The road shoulder completely collapsed under the rear right tire. Scary stuff. He saved $200 on a gardener, but caused $3,000 in hood damage. Genius math. Sticky mud, heavy timber, and a steep hill. The trifecta of a hard day. He makes it look manageable, but you can see the machine fighting for every foot. It takes serious nerve to pull a payload uphill in conditions that bad. Kinda crazy seeing a burly log turn into 78 board feet in under half an hour. No rushing, no drama, just a routine he clearly trusts. And makes you wonder how many mistakes he made years ago to figure out those last few cuts so precisely.
Now you can see we're starting to get into some boards.
This turns a back-breaking day of digging into a 10-second job. The speed of that cutting wheel is frightening. It shreds through the root system without even slowing down.
Timber! Oh! Well.
Bullseye. They managed to hit the only structure within a 50-yard radius perfectly. Watching that guy ride the top of a hollow stick over a roof line feels insane. Effective, sure, but there's no harness, no rope, and probably not nearly enough paycheck. Those beech logs are massive, probably 3 feet in diameter each. He is trying to pull a whole house worth of lumber in a single dangerous trip. Curious what other drivers think about that ditch crossing. Some folks swear he saved the load by gunning it, others say there was more room on the right. If you've hauled logs with an old mechanical cat, drop a comment on how you'd play that corner. I've heard mixed things about the spring mounts on those saws feeling flimsy with longer bars, but it seems to handle this side hill swing effortlessly.
Honey, gotta love them scissor wheels, man. 90'd it.
RIP to the poor guy who has to hike down there and hook that up. That log is probably halfway to the ocean by now. Navigating those mountain roads after the rains looks brutal. Anyone want to watch how they shift the log in and out of the saw blade at this shop? Anyone want to watch how they shift the log in and out of the saw blade at this shop? This happens more often than people realize during storms. A single tree limb can bring down thousands of volts right onto your front lawn. Watching this Ponce Bear work with the SP1661 LF head is quite satisfying. The design looks very clean and efficient. Operators who use it suggest it makes quick, reliable work of the timber harvest. Another example of Swedish heavy equipment at work. The engineering behind the Svetruck is clearly focused on immense lifting capacity, essential for the high volume of wood coming out of the forest. In a tough industry like pallet production, maximum output is everything. Veblohit's owner became an expert at maximizing flow, utilizing a powerful Wood-Miser industrial sawmill line. Keeping the production moving smoothly with high efficiency is the main goal here.
Yeah, he gotta have fully killing in there. Really.
The weight of that once it fall off.
He is lucky. If that saw snagged his jacket, he would be flying down too. Leaners are terrifying. If that trunk barber chairs, it kicks back instantly. He standing just 10 feet away would have absolutely zero time to react to that 1,000-pound force. Debris flies everywhere as the mulcher contacts the trunk, instantly vaporizing the vegetation into a cloud of chips. The operator seems to be pushing forward aggressively, letting the spinning disc do all the heavy lifting. One run through and the place goes from thick brush to a carpet of shredded timber. Bringing down a tree of this height is a precise operation. From the initial cut to the final crash, the process looks intense, but calculated. Hydraulic systems make lifting these giants look deceptively simple. The grapple secures the wood, and the crane arm does the heavy lifting that used to require significant manpower. What a game changer! This is the definition of a daily grind. Moving heavy timber out of the rainforest clearly requires much more than just a standard truck setup to succeed. Here's how the rest of the forest debris is handled. The moorbark chipper takes the smaller logs and branches that sawmills can't use and processes them into valuable chips for other purposes, reducing forest waste.
Here we are in London, taking to make sure that it falls in place.
Mistakes happen to the best of us. It is a rough way to learn, but thankfully only the wood suffered and nobody got hurt. Great job. Anyone else like seeing how that cut works as much as I did? I can see how that long notch gives the faller more control over where the tree lands. How amazing is it to see these magnificent horses working with such dedication? You can truly sense the strong bond between Anton Lowe and his animals, which is key to effectively moving those heavy timber loads. The concept here involves multiple blades cutting simultaneously. Instead of slice by slice, the machine handles the entire log in one go. Check out the video to see how this heavy-duty equipment simplifies the wood cutting process. Processing a log over 47 inches in diameter requires serious torque. The Comtech Axtor chipper seems to swallow the timber whole, using those aggressive rollers to force it against a roughly 2.5-inch screen. For a log that size, it almost looks too easy for this machine. No face cut, no hinge, no bore cut. Some people shouldn't be allowed near a chainsaw. People call this profession widowmakers because it's such a very dangerous job. Whoa! Looking at the diameter, that cedar seems way big. Handling such massive timber with a single cut is truly impressive. Navigating steep terrain is always a challenge in forestry. Using a cable yarder allows for retrieving timber from difficult spots without needing heavy machines to drive down the slope itself. It seems quite effective here. Once the Kenworth T659 truck clears the bush tracks, the focus shifts to a longer haul towards the mill or processing plant. Welcome to the Idaho Forest Group Mill in Grangeville. The first crucial step sees incoming logs weighed, measured, and scanned. Computers then optimize the sawing plan for maximum yield, ensuring every log entering the facility is utilized to produce the most construction lumber possible. On top of that, the bark, chips, and sawdust don't go to waste. They are funneled off and used as fuel for the boiler house or for producing pellets and pulp materials, achieving near 100% log utilization.
I be seeing them cutting it on the show like this. Timberland!
Never cut within 10 feet of lines. Hire a licensed professional instead. I bet he could not replicate that 1 in a million shot again. That specialized lift reaching over 115 feet is absolutely incredible. In northern Germany, where high winds are common, having that kind of safe reach is essential. It is much safer than climbing icy trunks during winter. I would trust this heavy-duty gear over a ladder. Swiss machinery like the Bührer 6105 AK has a dedicated following. Seeing one still hard at work in its natural habitat instead of a museum is a real treat for me. Springtime in the woods looks brutal sometimes. The ground just turns into soup. I guess that is why having a second machine around is so important. Watching them struggle really shows how heavy those things actually are. Look at that spray. It almost looks like a snowstorm, but it is just wood chips flying everywhere. The description says this is a Tiger Cat 822D running a Dennis Simoff mulcher. It is satisfying to watch it clear that wetland brush so quickly. Hey everyone! Watching these guys get this big log squared up? There's something truly authentic about these older circle mills working away. It's real deal, hands-on work with every piece of lumber produced. Say goodbye to your rear differential and frame. That 5,000-pound truck was never designed for that kind of shock load.
This is the best part.
Go, 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 go hard!
Oh, fuck.
Need help!
He's just trying to feed the birds. Ladders and trees are clearly not his best friends. Poor guy. Hauling 50,000 pounds of timber through this soup without tire chains is incredibly bold. Someone please stop him and say, never use a saw above your head. Log rafting and barging is such a classic method. Moving millions of board feet across the water just feels right. It keeps the heavy traffic off our winding mountain roads.
Around your backyard. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Fucking knock down like 60 trees, put it in a pool.
Earning a paycheck the hard way. Fighting 3 miles of mud for a load of firewood feels like a never-ending battle. Logging is one of the toughest jobs on Earth. Today we saw why. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Machine Universe for your daily dose of heavy metal reality. Keep your distance and stay alert.